This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, seventh day of the month, up to Tuesday. I'm Ray Collins. Glad you're awake already. We had plenty of fog yesterday, and from the looks of John's maps, more fog again today, John Scalzi.
I think so. There's no reason to not expect formation of fog. In fact, we already have some in inland areas, and down in Punta Gorda, they're already down to a quarter-mile visibility. So I think that inland fog that's developing once again will follow a similar pattern to yesterday, and that is kind of spread closer to the coastline as we progress through the next hour or so. So it is certainly not out of the question that things could get a little thicker before they get better across the Suncoast. So you may want to allow yourself just a little extra time because some of that fog could come up on you pretty quickly. Satellite view doesn't show a lot of cloud cover on top of the clouds, so we are looking at a pretty sunny day after we burn away whatever residual fog is left by dawn. Titan radar, yeah, not much here either. Don't expect too much in the way of rainfall today, so it'll be similar to yesterday. In fact, today, kind of a carbon copy of yesterday. Temperatures currently very similar to where they were at this hour 24 hours ago. Day planner comes up with a daytime high that's similar to yesterday as well, in the mid-80s, again, well above average for this time of year. We do have a couple of fronts coming our way that may change our temperatures a little bit. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic. Here's a broad brush look at most of the region. You'll see an issue at Cortez at 37th Street West, so be aware of that. Otherwise, pretty smooth sailing so far at 5:02 on your Tuesday morning. Our top story this hour, the investigation continues into that shooting at a rural church in Texas that killed 26 people. ABC's Daniel Backus has the latest.
Overnight.
Who is the victor? You are, Lord.
People in this small Texas town coming together to grieve and remember the 26 lives lost after authorities say Sunday 26-year-old Devin Kelly opened fire inside this church using a Ruger assault rifle with the intent to kill as many people as possible.
He was going through the rows to see who was shot and who wasn't.
Roseanne Solis, who was still recovering from a bullet wound, watched the shooting spree in horror.
People screaming and people crying and, "Mama, where are you, Mama?" The little kids. There was a lot of children. I saw bodies with a lot of blood.
This morning, more information about the killer. Military records show the former airman was convicted of domestic violence for abusing his then wife and 11-month-old stepson. That record should have stopped him from being able to buy the murder weapon. But the Air Force admits they never gave the information to the FBI, which maintains the database used for the background check.
I just wish I could have gotten there faster. I'm no hero. I am not.
Stephen Williford, the man who officials say stepped in to stop Kelly, firing shots that hit him, then with another neighbor chasing Kelly for miles, is now being credited for helping to put an end to the massacre.
And every time I heard a shot, I knew that that probably represented a life. I was scared to death.
An autopsy confirms the suspect was hit twice by Williford's bullets. A third wound was self-inflicted to the head. Danya Backus, ABC News, Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Now, in the wake of that massacre, some area churches are rethinking security. Let's come to that. That includes a look into the situational awareness and weapons training. For years, Sarasota police have been deploying crime prevention officers to the religious community for campus evaluations and active shooter training. Firearms instructor Derek Jones began offering a church training program after that Charleston shooting 2 years ago.
I've been carrying my firearm to church since 2000. When I'm in there playing the keyboard, but I'm the last resort.
Jones says several churches have taken him up on the offer to provide firearms instruction to ushers and even pastors as well. The search is on for a suspected child molester in Manatee County. Sheriff deputies want to charge this man, Thomas Bissone. He is wanted in connection with a suspected assault in June of a 13-year-old girl. If you recognize him or know where he is, call the sheriff's office or Crime Stoppers at the numbers listed on your screen. One of the most powerful members of the Florida Senate has been demoted in the wake of accusations of sexual harassment. Republican Jack Latvala of Clearwater denies the allegations, but Governor Scott says he should resign if the allegations are true. Senate President Joe Negron removed Latvala as chair of the Appropriations Committee and replaced him with Jacksonville area Senator Rob Bradley. Here's Bradley's reaction.
The focus is, I think, at least from my standpoint, is on making sure that people who have been mistreated feel comfortable coming forward and making sure that when they visit the Senate or they work in the Senate, that there is zero tolerance, and they understand that to be the case.
Now, Latvala is also running for governor, and he says that's the only reason people are making these accusations against him. Meantime, a special election has been set after the resignation of another top Florida lawmaker, a Democrat who admitted to an extramarital affair with a lobbyist. Jeff Clemens of West Palm Beach was supposed to take over as leader of the Senate Democrats in 2019. He is the former mayor of Lake Worth and was elected to the Senate 5 years ago. Well, Clemens said in a statement last month that he made mistakes that he's ashamed of, but he realizes he couldn't become a better person if he remained in office. Police in Miami are charging a mother in the death of her daughter. Tina Farrington confessed to police. She is being held without bond after her daughter Tanya was found dead in a dumpster on Sunday. Reports say Farrington suffocated her on Halloween, then hid the body in the car. She then moved her daughter's body to that dumpster where it was then found later by neighbors. There are calls for an investigation into Governor Scott's handling of several deaths at a nursing home in Broward County after Hurricane Irma. Members of several groups delivered more than 12,000 names on petitions to the legislature to look into Scott's administration. 14 residents of the rehab center in Hollywood Hills died as a result of the facility's air conditioning going out during the storm. The Florida Alliance for Retired Americans say more government oversight is needed in nursing homes, which could have prevented this tragedy.
This did not start during the hurricane. This has been going on, the deregulation of the oversight of nursing homes in this state, for 7 years.
The same groups asked the state attorneys in the Florida Second Appeals Court to look into the matter 2 weeks ago. However, the prosecutor declined to pursue the issue. Florida State University is suspending all fraternities and sororities. This comes after a Pi Kappa Phi fraternity pledge, Andrew Coffey, died last week after a party. Now police have arrested FSU student and Phi Delta Theta member Garrett Marcy for trafficking cocaine. The university's president says the suspension will remain in place until students create a new Greek culture.
I'm imposing an indefinite interim suspension on all fraternities and sororities at FSU. During this time, fraternity and sorority chapters will be prohibited from holding new member events, council or chapter meetings, chapter organized tailgates, chapter events such as socials, philanthropy, retreats, and intramurals, organized participation in our Market Wednesday, and organized participation in homecoming.
Thrasher also banned alcohol at all recognized student organization events. That includes more than 700 organizations outside the Greek community that will be affected by that alcohol ban. A pit bull terrier is recovering after protecting her owners from bears. The Fort Lauderdale dog was on a walk when she tried to herd some bear cubs away from her owners. Well, after a fight with Mama Bear, Mary Jane is now in intensive care with serious injuries.
This is a very lethal encounter. Not only do you have superficial wounds that could rip into the chest, all the abdominal wall, but any crushing injury. So internally, internal hemorrhage, things like that. So it's very lethal, and she's very lucky to be alive.
This attack serves as a reminder for pet owners that Florida's wildlife is home to animals that could do serious harm to your pets. Just in time for Veterans Day weekend, the state is offering a free night in state parks. When booking a 3-night stay at any of Florida's state forest campgrounds, vets get a free 1-night stay. Vets can book their stay between Wednesday and Monday to receive a 3rd night free of charge. NASA is set to make an announcement about a possible structural plan on Mars. NASA hopes to use robots for this proposal. The meeting will have building firms competing against one another, but also educating companies on how to build within NASA set parameters. If you wish to live stream this meeting, you can go to agc.org/Mars Challenge. The only guy I know who might want to live stream that meeting is sitting right next to me.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, I think. Absolutely interesting. It seems the momentum is building for a trip to Mars, and for maybe an outpost on Mars as well, which is, originally what Elon Musk's whole idea was all about with SpaceX.
Fascinating.
To get us to Mars.
Is that next, perhaps? Wow.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, it certainly is.
We have some not so cool weather in the forecast for you today. Above average temperatures. We'll talk about that in just a second.
Also, first alert traffic and open enrollment is much shorter this year, and people on the Suncoast are concerned about their coverage. We'll have more. And later in the hour, shark fishing on a popular Suncoast pier may be dead in the water. Those stories and more when we come back.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So across the region, we already had that dense fog forming in inland areas. We'll probably see that with this light northeast wind push some of that fog toward the coastline, so that I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see these dense fog advisory areas extend a little bit further to the east as we progress through the morning. It wouldn't be a surprise. In any event, you are likely to see some dense fog in locations, particularly in inland locations, if you're traveling from, say, Wauchula or Ona or Arcadia toward the coastline. You know, you're going to encounter some patchy dense fog. We have quarter-mile visibility down in Punta Gorda right now. All of this should burn away, though, in pretty quick order as we progress through the morning hours and dawn breaks. 67 degrees, the air temperature, dew point the same, 100% relative humidity, and hence the possibility of a little bit of fog across the region. We have some fairly clear skies helping to produce that fog, and we have a fairly light wind out of north-northeast. Also, a northeast wind is a pretty good ingredient for fog production at this time of year. So 67 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota. A degree warmer in Northport at 68. Punta Gorda comes in at 66, hence their fog issue there. 69 degrees in Inglewood and Venice, and 70 degrees at Longboat Key. You get the idea. Temperatures fairly uniform, hovering around that dew point figure, that dew point value, which, when reached, really does up the chance of fog formation. High pressure still the dominant weather feature for us, though, directing our winds out of the northeast, providing us with what will end up being a mostly sunny day. Frontal boundary, again, just meandering in basically the same position it was yesterday. I mean, it'll drift a little bit to the north and south as this Little areas of low pressure ripple along the front like cars on a railroad track. Eventually, that front will be pushed further to the south and work its way through the state of Florida. It'll be the first of two fronts that'll come through here as we head into our 7-day forecast. But neither of them will have much energy associated with them, so we're not going to get a lot of rainfall from them. It won't produce a squall line, and even the temperatures will not drop all that much. For us today, high pressure brings us morning fog, mostly sunny afternoon skies, and then a warmer than average temperature again coming in the mid-80s. As far as boating goes, nice day for boating. Just watch out. Some of that patchy fog could linger a bit longer than it would over land, so you could be looking at some mid-morning foggy patches out there in the Gulf. North wind at about 10, becoming northwest and a little breezy this evening at about 15. Forecast for the days ahead keeps it warm until we get to the weekend when those series of fronts will move through with 20% chance of showers Friday and Sunday. So far, it looks like Veterans Day looks to be very pretty. Sunny, nice, no rain, beautiful day.
Good.
Ray?
Yeah, I'll be involved in the parade on Longboat Key that day with Jacqueline Matters. So hope to see you out there on Longboat Key for the Veterans Day Parade Saturday. In the meantime, let's check first alert traffic. Nothing much to speak of. Little 301 build up there. Looks like northbound as you cross over the Manatee River. Mid-Sarasota County, nothing to speak of at this hour of the day. And South County, we'll check that. All clear at 5:17 almost on your Tuesday morning. Well, this is the time of year people choose health care plans. But as our Jess Dodrick tells us, this year is like no other.
The open enrollment period is open for the next 5 weeks.
I'm not sure how many people are aware that this open enrollment period is shorter. Previous open enrollment periods, it was about 3 months. Now it's only half that time.
The time restraint is keeping healthcare agencies busy, helping Suncoast residents pick the right plans for them.
Obamacare is still the law of the land, so we're not going to see any changes in 2018. We may see changes if a new law replaced in 2018. It'll probably affect individuals in 2019.
The bad news is the trend is that premiums are rising about 15%, some going up as much as 40 or 45%.
I just had someone, he was paying $43 a month for his health insurance is going up to $180.
Capriccio attributes the rate increase to President Trump cutting off cost-sharing reduction subsidies to insurance companies. So now that insurance companies aren't getting reimbursed by the federal government, they're raising prices. But that doesn't mean these prices aren't affordable, according to the Healthcare Planning Council of Southwest Florida.
That is not the case because premium tax credits, they also go up sort of to counterbalance that increasing premiums.
However, this year, some insurance companies have decided not to offer individual coverage plans in Florida at all.
All the major insurance companies, Aetna, United, Cigna, Humana, they all left. So they do not sell individual plans here in Sarasota, Manatee County, and they left the state of Florida,
leaving the Suncoast with only options through Florida Blue. Jess Dodrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
You have until December 15th to sign up for coverage. However, if you were affected by any of the hurricanes, you may qualify for a special enrollment period, which extends until December 31st. Still ahead, Snapchat experienced a 4-hour blackout. We'll tell you what happened yesterday. And after 5:30, a look at President Trump's visit to South Korea. We'll have a preview.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Enjoy fine wine, craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 16th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival presented by Publix, Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
And for a limited time, Minnesota Flooring is offering you unbelievable pricing on tile and laminate. Porcelain tile only $1.59. Ceramic tile 99 cents. And 16 by 16 tile $1.19. Laminate flooring is only 99 cents. But these prices won't last. Don't miss out on these great deals. Hurry into Minnesota Flooring today.
Well, guess who I met yesterday? Mabel Ringling. Or at least somebody who impersonates her, Jean Ruff. This is at the Garden Club. They're marking their 90th anniversary. And Jean posed as Mabel Ringling and spoke in the first person. And we had a nice conversation. They didn't love my story last week where I did a little expose that the city charges the Garden Club $1 a year. But it was nothing personal. It was all about tax dollars per se. And we made nice, had a nice visit. In fact, 521 right now. There's our social media addresses. Check out any of our Facebook pages and you'll see plenty of local content. And feel free to stop by and say hello and like the page as well. Don't forget to update our app. Go to the App Store at WWSB or mysuncoast.com and you'll get a chance to update the breaking news alerts right to your phone here on ABC 7. Welcome back. Now, a bug that affects the iPhone keyboard is frustrating some users. ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have details.
In today's Tech Bites, frustrated iPhone users.
A bug in their phone's new operating software is changing lowercase i's to capital A's and a question mark. Apple says the problem can be fixed through the keyboard settings by adding a text replacement. The company says it'll fix the problem in future updates.
A Snapchat outage triggered a millennial meltdown yesterday, with users worldwide not being able to connect to the app for at least 4 hours.
The unexplained outage triggered a flood of complaints on Twitter, no less. No word from Snapchat and what caused the outage. And one too many unfulfilled cravings for a McDonald's favorite has inspired a brand new app.
The Ice Check app lets you know when the ice cream machine at your local McDonald's is out of service. If you just need to have that Oreo McFlurry, the app will find the closest Mickey D's with a working soft serve machine.
These are real world problems.
Yep, those are your Tech Bites.
Soft.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Allstate.
Remember that accident I got in with the pole and I had to make a claim and all that? Is that whole thing still dragging on? No, I took some pics with the app and filed a claim. But you know how they send you money to cover repairs and...
It took forever to pay you, right?
No, I got paid right away. But at the very end of it all, my agent wouldn't even call you back, right? No, she called to see if I was happy. But if I wasn't happy with my claim experience, for any reason, they'd give me my money back. No questions asked. Can you believe that? No.
The claim satisfaction guarantee, only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Testing, testing. Is this thing on? Huh? Come on, your turn. Woo!
Where do pencils go on vacation?
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
Frosted just right, crunch in every bite. Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats.
Mom still thinks Burlington is the place for coats. This time of year, she's absolutely right.
Fashion coats, quilted coats, gloves, scarves, boots, hats.
All the great brands at a fraction of the cost.
Burlington may not be called Coat Factory anymore,
but they still have lots and lots of coats.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599, 800-570-7599.
If you're between 50 and 85 years old, call the number on your screen right now for free information on how to save your family thousands of dollars. We're Family Love Plans, and we've been helping families just like yours for over 30 years. The average funeral today can cost up to $10,000 or more, but the most you'll get from government benefits is just $255. How will your family pay the difference? At Family Love Plans, we can help you and your family. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam and your plan can't be canceled. Better still, your rate will never go up and your benefits will never go down. Get your free information about our senior plans. Just answer a few simple questions and receive approval right over the phone.
Call 1-800-707-3608. That's 1-800-707-3608.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert Weather app now.
Today on Good Morning Suncoast, shark fishing off the Venice Pier may be a thing of the past. We'll tell you why. Mixed reactions to the city of Sarasota building a new daiquiri deck in the Lido Beach concession area. And Manatee County breaks ground today for a new high school and parish. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And a pleasant good morning to you. 5:28 on this Tuesday morning, 7th day of the month. I'm Ray Collins, and John Scalzi's in place for details of what could be another foggy morning, John.
Indeed, it looks like it. Things will be a little on the dark side out there, I think, as we head into the morning, just because fog will be dense in some, particularly interior locations. We are looking, especially along the spine of the state, at dense fog advisories issued through the morning hours. And then as you get closer to the coastline, things are a little better, but we have a northeast wind, very light, that could blow some of that fog closer to the coastline. And in fact, we do have quarter-mile visibility in Punta Gorda right now. Along the immediate coast, though, in Sarasota and Manatee County, things are still pretty good. But as I mentioned, don't be surprised if that changes. Fog can come up on you pretty quickly, as you know, at times. Satellite view shows, well, pretty quiet conditions aloft. There are no major cloud banks that will impede the sun from heating us up nicely this afternoon to an above-average temperature of about 85 or so. We have some scattered showers over on the other coast, and that is where they will stay. We look for a daytime high that's about, I'd say 15 degrees warmer than where we are right now, with a daytime high coming in about 84 under rain-free skies. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. Checking First Alert traffic now. See a little blip there as you leave 41 in front of the airport. So be aware of that little delay as you're facing the Ringling Museum. Farther south now into Sarasota County. We'll see no real problems. A little congestion there already on Bee Ridge as you head westbound past McIntosh and Beneva and South County. All clear at 5:29 on your Tuesday morning. Topping our news this half hour, shark fishing on the Venice Fishing Pier may soon be phased out. Christopher Brantley tells us why.
Welcome to the Venice Fishing Pier, a local landmark and hotspot. It's a perfect place to come and enjoy the peace and serenity of the water at pretty much any time, day or night. It's also a place very popular amongst fishermen, but that may soon be changing.
This is #1 spot, my favorite spot.
Justin Ho and his friends are Venice Pier regulars. They come mostly at night.
Enjoy the beautiful, nice breeze out here, and also catching fish is really fun.
But the fishing may soon be limited. Venice's Mayor John Hollick has put an agenda item on the next city council meeting to look at changing the city's fishing ordinance. The effort would be to ban shark fishing. Reason being, some damage has been caused to the pier.
If you get a big hook and you swing it too far under the pier, then you can catch that netting.
As it stands, Venice is the only local pier that allows shark fishing. This possible ordinance change would fall more in line with other communities, including Naples, that have banned the practice. It may not be simple. Law enforcement would need to have increased patrols to enforce the law. Plus, local fishermen don't like the idea.
This is a good spot for fishing, they should allow, anytime,
Justin Ho fears this may be the beginning to banning fishing altogether. As city ordinances go, they usually require a public hearing before anything really changes. That would give an opportunity to the public to let their city council members know how they feel about this potential ban. In Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
On to world news now. The second part of President Trump's trip to Asia is now underway. Today, the president is in South Korea. The president took time to have a meal with American and South Korean troops at Camp Humphreys. But high on the agenda is North Korea, a topic Presidents Trump and Moon Jae-in will discuss in great detail. Government officials believe North Korea is keeping a close eye on Trump's trip after they promised more nuclear tests in their state-run paper, and that if the president does anything it deems crazy, that Pyongyang will respond powerfully.
Estimates of the risk of a war range from, say, 20 to 25% from this former CIA director, John Brennan, to 50% from the President of the Council on Foreign Relations, Richard Haass.
President Trump says the U.S. will use military force against North Korea if that's what is needed to protect itself and its allies. A new CNN poll shows President Trump's approval rating now stands at its lowest point. Overall, 36% say they approve of the way the president is handling his job. More Americans than ever are expressing concerns about contacts between suspected Russian operatives and Trump's presidential campaign. 6 in 10 surveyed said they think that Trump knew last year that campaign associates met with suspected Russian operatives. Senator John McCain was treated at Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland for a tear to his Achilles tendon. Happened over the weekend, he says, and his office says he returned to work on Monday. Now he's wearing a boot until the injury fully heals. The 81-year-old is also having cancer treatments for brain cancer since revealing his diagnosis last July. It is Election Day here on the Suncoast and in some states up the East Coast. The most closely watched race is for Virginia governor. Republican Ed Gillespie and Democrat Ralph Northam are neck and neck in the polls. President Trump is backing Gillespie, former President Obama backing Northam. Other races to watch in New Jersey, Republican Kim Guindago and Democrat Phil Murphy are battling to replace Governor Chris Christie today. And also New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is looking for his second term. Happening in Venice, 2 seats from the Venice City Council are up for grabs today. Polls will open there from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. In consumer news now, there's a new email scam targeting Netflix customers. The scammers take the Netflix template and tell customers their accounts have been suspended and they have 48 hours to reset it. Well, the email even sends a fake website where customers enter their personal information. Netflix says to stay vigilant when responding to their mail. You can always check your subscription status directly through their website. There are over 100 million Netflix subscribers nationwide. Wells Fargo facing a range of litigation from former employees who say they were fired after reporting wrongdoing to the bank's ethics hotline. The bank has been at the center of several scandals over the past year. The filing addresses incidents where the bank charged home buyers to lock in mortgage rates. It also includes another scandal where bankers forced thousands of customers into car insurance they didn't need. The push to make sure thousands of low-income kids don't lose health coverage is now gaining momentum on Capitol Hill. Congressman Vern Buchanan raised concerns about funding the Children's Health Insurance Program, or CHIP. Now, funding for the program expired in September, but the vast majority of states, including Florida, have residual funding that will last through the end of the year. So the House did pass the Championing Health Kids Act on Friday to reauthorize CHIP funding. 9 million children are enrolled nationwide in CHIP, including over 3,000 in Sarasota and almost 3,000 in Manatee County. Palmetto is the 5th and final city in Manatee County to agree to ban medical marijuana dispensaries in the area. Bradenton, Holmes Beach, Anna Maria, and Bradenton Beach now have similar bans passed. The one exception is unincorporated Manatee County, where dispensaries are allowed. The future of the bans are dependent on the outcome of several lawsuits filed against the state. All this despite the fact that voters approved dispensaries last year. An effort to transform the Lido Beach concession stand into a daiquiri deck had a small setback last night. Sarasota City Commissioners agreed to table the vote on the proposed new lease for the space next to Lido Pool. The concession needs $3 million in renovations. Under the agreement, daiquiri deck would pay for about $2 million of the renovations, about 2/3. In return, they'd be granted a 10-year lease to build a 200-seat restaurant and ice cream parlor, but the move is being met with mixed reactions.
The old charm of this place is once it's gone forever. Once you lose something like this and you go modern with all that goes with it, you know, more traffic, you know, more late night stuff.
I don't agree. I mean, life is about changing, and I think our community has demonstrated over the last 10 years how we've assimilated change into our community. I think as things change, sometimes things get better.
In addition to the cost of the renovation, daiquiri deck owners would also pay an annual rent that would start off at $80,000 but increase to $100,000 after the third year. Commissioners are expected to vote on the measure during next month's board meeting. The Boy Scouts of America are no longer a boys-only club, and that's receiving some mixed reaction from pack leaders and parents here on the Suncoast. But the Girl Scouts of the Gulf Coast, which provide gender-specific programs to young girls, criticized the initiative, accusing the Boy Scouts of recruiting.
What we're seeing now is that the Boy Scout recruiters are actually following the Girl Scout recruiters and trying to connect with the same families, and we're trying to stop them from doing that.
Serving as the former mayor of Sarasota, back in 2016, the organization reported 2.3 million members, a decrease from 2.8 in 2012. Servian believes same-sex camaraderie is vital for kids. Boy Scouts, however, will continue with the integration process, and in 2019, girls will have the chance to earn the coveted Eagle Scout rank. A historic home in Bradenton will soon be torn down. The city's Architectural Review Board approved the plan to demolish the Covington House. It was built in 1911 in what was a segregated African-American community. It's one of the only properties from that community that still stands. Work to restore the property began in 2007, but money to support the project just never came about. Groundbreaking for a new high school in Parrish is set for this morning. The new North River High School will go up on the southeast corner of Martha and Erie Roads. The district is hoping to solve the overcrowding issues in local county high schools. North River will also hold close to 2,400 students there. Agriculture, engineering, and even automotive work will be some of the programs offered at the new school. It opens in August of 2019. So much growth in North County. Many say a school was bound to be needed there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? Vocational schools produce very good incomes for some of the students.
Very true.
I just listened to a report on NPR actually about that, and you'd be surprised. 6-figure salaries in some of those professions.
A lot to be said there.
Yeah, it's great. Plus, people like doing that sort of thing. A lot of folks like working with their hands and such, and it's great.
Huge need for those types of jobs. Vocational training, yeah.
Good to have that school there. We have across our region some pleasant conditions today. We do have a little bit of fog out there, though, so you might want to allow yourself a little extra time, particularly if you're in inland areas. But other than that, nice. We'll talk about it.
Also, first alert traffic, and this Michigan dog has a rare disorder that makes eating difficult. We'll tell you how their owners making life easier for her. Up next in Health Smart.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Enjoy fine wine,
craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 16th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival presented by Publix, Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We're still in hurricane season. Storms can pop up at a moment's notice. Sometimes it's just rain. Sometimes it's much worse. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So the dense fog advisory is still confined to Hardee and DeSoto County, but I'll tell you what, there are some areas along our coastline that do have reduced visibility. So you may wish to allow yourself a little extra time in order to, having to put pedal to the metal in low visibility locations. The fog will come up on you quickly, and there is certainly the possibility it could expand toward the west as we progress through the morning hours. Already have some quarter-mile visibility in Punta Gorda. Meanwhile, the visibility in Venice has been reduced by 1 mile over the course of the last observation, about 20 minutes ago. And in Sarasota, we still have some fairly decent visibility at the airport. However, that could certainly change, and it doesn't take long for that to change. As you well know, with fog on the Suncoast, things can change in 15 minutes from clear to kind of obscured. 67 degrees, the air temperature, dew point a match. That brings us 100% relative humidity. Fairly clear skies aloft, however. So once we burn off the fog, mix it away with a little daytime heating as the dawn breaks, we will see a mostly sunny afternoon. It should be a very pretty day. Similar to yesterday, we hit, I believe it was 83 degrees yesterday. Probably be pretty close to that again today. So across the region, temperatures are generally holding about the same everywhere you go. We've got 67 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, 66 in Myakka Parish, Bradenton, 68 in Northport, Venice, 69 in Inglewood, 70 Longboat, and 67 in Sarasota. So give or take a couple of degrees, we're all hovering in the upper 60s to near 70. High pressure remains for us fixed just to our west and will be the dominant weather feature again today on the Suncoast. We do still have this stalled frontal, well, it's not really stalled, it's kind of a meandering frontal boundary located just to our north. It could be a focal point today for some stronger storms around Kentucky. We could see some possible airport delays at the Louisville airport, or perhaps even Nashville up in Tennessee could see some delays because of inclement weather. Rest of the country is fairly quiet. You know, we have some snow falling at higher elevations back to the west. Around Denver area, you could see up to a couple of feet of snow at the highest elevations in the mountains, and then rain showers in the Pacific Northwest coming on there by the end of the day today. Otherwise, for us, the high pressure ridge brings us that northeasterly wind flow. Will allow for a bit of a wind surge during the afternoon off Gulf waters with a sea breeze forming in response to our heating. And winds will become a little bit light and variable as we head into tomorrow because of that high being a little more centered right over the spine of the state. And that front will ever so slowly inch its way southward, working its way through here probably Thursday night into Friday morning. Once that happens, we'll start to get a little bit of some drier air work its way in for Saturday before the next front approaches. So for today, morning fog, then a mostly sunny afternoon, warmer than average temperatures coming in the mid 80s across the region. Titan radar not showing a drop of rain here locally. Again, the hot spot will be in the deep south and moving into the Ohio Valley with the potential of some stronger thunderstorms there for us. I don't think we'll see any rainfall again today. Our future forecast shows front number 1 tries to work its way south and then kind of just falls apart, waiting for another surge of air to bring it southward. And yes, Rina is another tropical storm, 17th of the season, 40-mile-an-hour winds on a forecast track that shouldn't bother anyone but the fish. Forecast for us calls for nice boating weather, north wind at about 15 this afternoon, and in the extended range, 2 chances of rain Friday and Sunday. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic. Some buildup there on State Road 70 as you get around 301. Otherwise, pretty clear in Manatee County. Farther south into Sarasota, little congestion there in the westbound lanes of Bee Ridge as you get past McIntosh and head toward Beneva. And also Clark Road, little blip there in the eastbound lane. South County, a buildup at 41 as you head toward the bypass. Otherwise, all clear at 547. In Health Smart, we'll meet a Grand Rapids dog with a special condition that makes eating a little more difficult. Alyssa Heron has their story.
While we're used to seeing babies eating dinner in high chairs, you have to admit, this is quite a sight.
Well, she's a Labrador Retriever. She fetches things in the water. She plays Frisbee. She goes on walks. She licks people to death. Good girl. She cuddles. She does everything.
Tink has been eating out of a Bailey chair since 9 weeks old. It's basically a high chair for a dog.
So when she was 9 weeks old, my brother had watched her, and she came home and one side of her stomach was flat and the other one was distended. And that's when the emergency vet had told us, like, maybe this is megaesophagus.
Megaesophagus means when Tink eats or drinks, the food and water never make it all the way to the stomach.
The esophagus, how it works is it kind of like squeezes the food and water down. Kind of like in a wave-like motion. We call that peristalsis. Because she can't do that, when she eats or drinks, the food just stays in the esophagus.
And when it sits there,
Her body will reject it. She'll regurgitate it. It's kind of just like a burp up. It's like a bloop, and it just comes up.
Good job.
So the chair keeps Tink in an upright position, and gravity does the work her esophagus can't.
If she's in an upright position, anything that's in her esophagus is going to want to move downward.
Tink eats 4 times a day, and after mealtime, well, just like a baby, it's burping time.
After she sits in her chair, this is a normal thing. For about 5 minutes, we burp her, as crazy as that sounds, and then we do a throat massage too, where we get in deep to the esophagus and just try to help move the food down.
And like a baby, it's a lot of work, a lot of patience, and most just don't have the time.
Liam, give her kisses.
What ends up happening is the animal might be, like euthanized because owners can't handle or can't, dedicate, the time and effort it takes to, care for them. Or they suffer from, malnutrition.
Sadly, the survival rate is low.
Right up on the mat here.
But thanks to the Sullivans, Tink has a second chance at life.
Not knowing if we could care for her or even not knowing if we were going to euthanize, I cried for at least 4 days straight and trying to figure out what was going to happen and how much money we were going to put into her. But every penny has been worth it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Sounds like a nice solution there for Tink. Up next, your top local news headlines. And a Georgia ROTC student receiving the program's highest honor. We'll tell you why after this.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
I'm Alan Cohn. Veterans, you have heard about the new White House hotline for vets to report complaints about the VA, but where do you go to complain about how long it takes to get through?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. They send out devastating letters, garnish paychecks, and even put liens on your home or business. You may have heard of it. It's called enforced compliance. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms and can negotiate a tax settlement with the IRS. It's that simple. And if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars, finally ending your financial stress. Now is the time for a fresh start. Now is the time to call Tax 10,000. 800-699-3188. That's 800-699-3188. Call now.
And that's the picture we look at outside our window here on 10th Street, looking at the Rosemary District and off to downtown Sarasota. Little fog again this morning. We'll have John's full forecast in just a few seconds. Here are the top stories as you awaken this morning on this Tuesday. The city of Venice might ban shark fishing on the pier. They say hooks can cause damage there. The Naples pier already does ban shark fishing. Manatee County will break ground later on this morning on a new high school in Parrish. The North River High School is set to open in time for the 2019 school year. And it's election day in Venice. 2 seats from the Venice City Council will be decided today. And finally, a junior ROTC student was awarded the Medal of Heroism by the U.S. Army after saving the life of one of his fellow cadets. Georgia high school freshman Oscar Ramirez began experiencing some heat stroke symptoms, but senior cadet Brian Ray rushed to his rescue. Now, despite the victim going into a heat-induced frenzy, the hero kept calm and continued to aid his fellow cadet, likely saving his life. Their instructor contacted the program's higher-ups, and he was awarded the program's highest honor, the Medal of Heroism. How would you respond when the rubber hits the road like that? Good for him.
I'll tell you, there's no greater gift you can give than the gift of life, right?
I know it, yeah.
That's pretty impressive. It's fast acting, too.
I know it. People often ask you and me, who have you met? What celebrities have you met? I say, never mind those. I've met some unsung heroes along the way that I think are really interesting. Those who stepped up when it wasn't very easy to do so. Those are my kind of heroes.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Really good folks out there.
We got some fog out there right now, John.
We have some patchy fog around the region. The fog mostly in inland areas, but we have a light northeast wind, so it could blow it to the coast. Boy, yesterday it was like a polar bear in a snowstorm at times, you know.
Yes.
It's really a whiteout condition in some locations. You know, I don't think it'll be that bad today, but it could be, you know, it could slow you up on your morning commute, so you may want to allow some extra time, and by all means, just watch out for those kids at the school bus stops.
We've got a busy day here on the Suncoast. We've got a new high school breaking ground today in a very busy spot in northern Manatee County. Other side of our viewing area, we've got voting day in Venice, 2 seats up for grabs, so lots of news going on today.
Lots of news. That high school well overdue, too.
Oh, yeah.
They've been needing a new school there for a while.
Right there, that's right. We'll have much more on that new high school groundbreaking, more of John's foggy forecast, and Stephanie Roberts after this. Stay with us.